Okay, I'm going to be mowing up the lawn, collecting these for a compost pile. The lawn and these dry leaves, the combination of the two will be awesome for a start to our compost pile. Okay, in my efforts to continue to create garden soil and potting soil, and because I live in a place that has thick clay, and I've been doing it for years and producing quite a bit of soil that's growing really good. Normally, when we mow the lawn, we just mulch it back into the yard so it helps create the soil there. But today, we bagged up a bunch of the grass clippings with the leaves that were on the ground and gathered that up. It'll be a nice start to the mix. We also have, you can see right here, a bucket of chicken manure from inside. We've got a bucket of goat manure, and we've got all kinds of wood chips and sawdust from a friend's wood shop. So we're gonna put these together and mix them together and get the right amount of moisture and see if we can get them up to heat and turn into good soil, which we'll be using next spring. Here we're getting some straight chicken manure. No bedding, no nothing. It's just the roosting bars are here. It falls to the ground. It dries up. We're going to collect this, get it in the bucket. It's going to be part of our compost. It's going to be great stuff. So normally when I have this much grass with the moisture in it, I don't feel like I need to add moisture. You do have to have moisture for the microorganisms to grow and this to heat up and everything start breaking down. So because there's so much dry chicken manure in here and goat manure that was in the barn, dry, and wood chips from the wood shop, and sawdust, I'm going to add a little bit of water. You don't want it to be dripping wet, but you do want it to be moist. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bit of water. Okay, I'll go ahead and mix that around. I don't have a camera crew here with me, but I'm going to take this and get some of this that's wet on top mixed down, then probably put a little bit more moisture on it. All right, I've added water twice, mixed it up. Might be a hair dry, but it can't be too dry with the amount of green grass that's in there. This will be enough to get us started. I may have to add water in the next couple days, although here in the Pacific Northwest, we're expecting a big rainstorm for the next few days, and I'm actually going to be using sheet metal here to cover this. I'll put it up on an angle on the cement and try to keep it dry. It can still get air, but keep it dry. And so I can control the right amount of moisture so it'll break down and it'll be an aerobic composting. Okay, here's my pile ready to go. It is 5:30 Monday night. I'm going to come back here. I finished putting the moisture in, piling it up. I did one thing that I've found that people aren't used to composting. They put a huge pile of vegetation on there, and it breaks down really good and turns into soil, but they're disappointed in how small it actually breaks down. As it breaks down into soil, your pile gets really small. So we may get some great soil out of this, but it won't be nearly this amount when we're all done. Another good thing to consider is where you're going to put your compost pile when you're making it. I put mine here for a couple reasons. One, I'm trying to get rid of chicken and goat waste that's coming out of this barn. And two, I've built these terraced walls, and this is where our garden is. And so I can bring the waste out of the barn right here, dump it right here, and then once it's done, I literally just flip some of it over the wall right here to start growing the next plant. There's not many plants in our garden right here right now because we just finished these walls. Okay, so yesterday I showed you the creation of this pile. I've got wood chips, grass clippings, manure, and everything else, and I put moisture in it hoping to have the right composition so the microorganisms will start breaking it down. This is hot composting. We're hoping to get to 140 degrees. I was hoping to get up. I could tell just by touching the top of the pile. The top of the pile itself has got to be pretty warm. I can tell it's very hot. Actually, just right here with the probe is at 100, and it's climbed to 111, 113 degrees, and that's not even the hottest part. We would like to get up near 140 degrees. So you can tell we're doing well. If I dig down in there further, I'll bet you can see the steam, and actually it is hot. Woo! It is hot to the touch. I may have well exceeded my goal of getting to 140. We're at 153 right now. It's still climbing. Yes, I've got melting manure on my hands now, but the temperature gauge is starting to slow down. I'm at 156 degrees currently. I'll probably leave this pile as is for about 3 or 4 days. This amount of heat will push out the moisture, and then I will come back in here. I'll stir it up, I'll put some more moisture in and keep it going. So this hot composting technique, I can probably turn all this stuff into excellent potting soil in 4 to 5 weeks, okay? As opposed to over here, we have the cold composting where we just threw stuff, and you could just throw any organic matter in a pile and let it sit there for years. The worms will come in, it'll break down, but it's anaerobic. It usually takes a couple years, but it will end up turning into good compost eventually. Okay, just a quick update on our compost pile. We started the compost pile Monday afternoon. I did have to cover it up with this sheet metal because it's been pouring down rain. You can see the pile has definitely shrunk in size as it's been digested by the microbes. I'm expecting the temperature to be down a little bit. Oh, you can see where it's, well, there's still a lot of steam coming out of there. I think you can pick that up in the camera. So it hasn't cooled down as much as I thought it might have. I'm going to stick the probe in here, see what kind of temperatures we get. I'm really happy that we've been getting up there above 140. At least the first day we were 154. Not only does that break down all the plant material faster, but it also kills all the seeds. So if there's any seed in here that would be weeds in our garden, it's going to get killed. And so we'll have a nice soil to plant in. There's definitely steam coming out of this. Again, I'm not sure if that's picking up on the camera. We have the probe in there at 149 degrees, so it's still definitely hot. I was expecting, oh, we're up to 151. I was expecting by this, so this is Friday afternoon, we started Monday. I thought it'd be cooling down a little bit by now, and I was going to have to stir it up and add a little bit of moisture again. Looks like I'll have another couple days before I have to do anything. So we're sitting at 151 degrees right now. Quite hot. Okay, it's been nearly a week since we built this pile of a lot of grass clippings and a little bit of manure and wood chips. You can see it's no longer green, it's breaking down into darker soil, or getting there. You can see a little bit of a heat still escaping. It was over 150. Our temperature gauge says it's down to 130. So today I'm going to start mixing it up, adding a little bit of moisture, and see if we can't get the temperature back up. Okay, since it spent so much time at high temperature, the moisture's gone, so I'm going to add more moisture in. And I'm going to stir this back up and get this green grass that was on the outside back in the middle. So we'll pull this pile apart. Get everything out of the middle there. And then, yeah, that's definitely drying out. I'll get some more moisture back on all this. And then we'll start piling it back in. Hopefully get some more of that green grass. Some of that stuff that was on the outside, get it mixed in the middle and get this soil breaking down. Okay, everything's piled back up and moisture added to it. Hopefully the temp will come back up higher again tomorrow and everything will start breaking down quickly. Okay, we stirred it up for the first time last night after a week. Hopefully the heat's getting back up. I think you can see the steam coming out of there. Let's get our thermometer back in there. See what we're getting. Okay, I'm not sure if you can pick up the steam coming out of the pit, out of the compost pile on the camera. There's definitely steam coming out. Thermometer's reading 154 right now, so definitely cooking compost again right now. It is now Saturday morning, almost 2 weeks later. You can see everything is really turning dark. The temp is down to 122 degrees. I will put a little more moisture in today and stir it up again, but we're at the point where things are starting to get digested and it's going to be harder to keep the temperature up. I thought I had some coffee grounds in the shop that I could mix in there, add a little nitrogen to get it up again, but I don't. We're just going to keep stirring this and trying to get it going. Okay, 15 days later, we're at 127 degrees. I'd like to be a little bit hotter, but it's still hot enough to really break things down.